can be so costly for property owners, they often have no choice but to ignore it.
But potentially leaking underground storage tanks have become a serious threat to our environment and to the precious property values of our state. Tonight, we hear from the Health Department trying to find a real solution and from property owners trying to do something. They are our hidden hazards, a KITV4 investigation.
What I gather is, as long as we don't dig.
Cornelio Navarrete's family has owned this property for years, but what used to be here has turned into a major headache for him.
Okay, right around this area, more or less, was a service station.
Years later, the city condemned the old gas station and general store. Then squatters burned it down. Not that he'd have an easy time selling anyway.
One of the big tanks had a hole in them.
The station's gas tank had rusted and leaked, so much so it reached the water table. Now whomever buys it can't dig deeper than 7 feet down.
It's up for sale. You want to buy it?
Darren Park at the Health Department's Hazardous Waste Branch has his work cut out for him. Right now on Oahu, the department is focusing on 42 potential leaking underground storage tanks or LUST sites. In the past decade, it has found more than 1,000 statewide.
We've had a major cleanup, I would say, one on every island.
In 2009, the federal government granted Hawaii $1.3 million to help clean up some of those sites, including several on the Big Island, where general stores and old gas stations once stood. Then there's this one, just recently, that caught officials by surprise. At a historic fishing village in Milili'i on the Big Island.
It had the dispensers, it had the underground storage tanks filled with fuel.
A major cleanup is underway. The state had no record of it being there.
That site would have been languishing for years and years, posing a threat to human health and the environment.
Come on, Jen. Good dog.
Norman Sato's property made the cut to get state support, too. The South Kona Car Care on the Big Island leases the spot for now. Sato held off on getting a full assessment after hearing it could cost him some $200,000 to get the place properly cleaned up.
Sooner or later, I would have had to face up with it. So I'm thinking maybe this is the opportunity for me to do it.
Park says smaller property owners like Sato and Navarrete need help desperately, especially with insurance companies, which often demand big fees to cover a potentially risky site, or simply refuse to help at all.
Maybe I have to sell it at a loss, I don't know.
I'm still skeptical about it, but I sent them a letter saying, okay, we'll do it.
Sato knows it could open up new problems, or finally get him the green light to one day redevelop.
I wanted to be able to pass it on. Let's go home, at least to my son.
Darren Park from the Health Department says they've now been able to identify a small group of insurance companies who are trained and willing to work with these specific types of properties. And today, cleanup crews are better at removing contaminants with treatments such as bioremediation, soil vapor extraction, and so on. The Health Department also helped Hawaii County apply for another grant to get more of the island's LUST sites inspected and cleaned up.